All right. Let's let people get into the room, and then we're going to go ahead. So cool because I can see. All right, guys. Welcome back to the Black Love Clubhouse. I'm so excited today, you guys. We have one, as you know, we got Richard Roots and Prime in the building. We got a little different setup going on, and some of y'all may have already seen. We have a special guest with us, Satoria.
Yes. I normally go by Tori.
She gonna get it right.
I normally go by Tori because it's much easier.
That's okay. I used to call him Agatha.
And everything else too. I mean, it was Agatha was just one of them.
Yeah, Agatha.
Yes, oh my God. But thank you guys for tuning in. Share the live. Let other people know that we are in here. You guys, I'm really excited. Today we're going to be talking about, as you can see, is the soft life affecting us? And when we talk about that, we're going to be talking about a whole lot of other topics. But first, I want to get to know Satoria.
Yes. There you go.
Tori.
If Tori's
Tori, let me get to know Tori a little bit more. So, Tori, how are you? And tell us a little bit about you.
I'm good. I'm pretty good. So just a little bit about me. I graduated last May. Was last year 2024? Yeah, 2024. May. I got my bachelor's in business management and administration. This upcoming fall, I'll be going back to graduate school to get my master's in strategic communications. I'm from New Orleans, born and raised. I'm 23. I'm a Gemini. My favorite color is blue.
And we get the zodiac and the color and everything. Okay. Look.
It's like Gemini.
So if there's any single men that's matching zodiacs and colors, hey, look.
She ain't say she's single?
I am single.
Oh. Okay, all right. Tori is single. Y'all heard it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yes, I'm excited that you are here. Thank you for tuning in.
Did she say where she was from?
She
did. She said she's from New Orleans.
Yes.
So she creamed the crop too.
Yes, exactly. She's a New Orleans woman. So I'm excited, y'all. But yeah.
Ain't those the ones that like to fight men? Or was it the Louisiana women?
No.
Yeah, take it though.
What we said, he's saying this because in the show we said, he was talking about you can.
I said you shouldn't a lot of women because they ain't got hands.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah.
Don't have hands, but then we was like, you never met a woman from New Orleans.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
So it sounds like, like to fight dudes.
No, it's not that we like to fight dudes. It's just that we. Yeah.
I think we're just aggressive. I feel like we at the bottom of the South. It's a lot of aggressive people from New Orleans. So I don't think it's just the women, but I can see why. But
yeah.
I think it's survival mode.
We love you too. She said she loved her Louisiana people. We love you too, Kyle.
It looks different everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, but yeah.
But they still. I mean, they're still good for the market. Though.
I think black women. I
don't know if you're trying to say that, because our women.
I wasn't trying to say nothing. Don't put anything on that. I was just making sure we was talking about the same
kind of women. Because they said New Orleans women are the best women. I'm just saying.
Hello,
that's what they said. Thank y'all for sharing the live. Heart the live, like the live. Let us know. Drop comments and everything. Share the live. I'm so excited, y'all. We're gonna hop right into the topic. There's been a lot of talk in the TikTok sphere.
Let's go.
Where we've been talking about soft life, and I ain't gonna get too deep into it because we're gonna gravitate to that portion towards the end, or the middle of the show. But the soft life, a lot of people are saying the soft life, it basically means that women don't have to do anything, so men have a problem with it and stuff like that. Some women saying they deserve luxury, they deserve these things like that. So do you guys think, and I think there's a poll, y'all get in the poll, let us know what you think. Do you think the soft life is basically harming us, or does it make women lazy?
Where do they
Prime, let ladies first. Let lady go first. Let the ladies go.
All right.
Because Prime was about to he was about to go off. Oh my gosh. We're gonna let the ladies.
To his defense, it looked like you looked over there. It looked like you was
Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna be nice to show.
In my defense, are you okay? You're saying does soft life make women lazy? Is what you're asking?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what they're saying.
For me, my perspective, when I think of soft life, I envision it as a woman being able to bask in her femininity. I don't really think it to where she's like lazy or she's not doing anything. Like I feel like naturally as a woman you want to be able to be submissive and be feminine, especially with your man. So I think when it comes to that, I feel like people kind of ignorant to the term soft life. Don't automatically like make that be like, oh, she's lazy or she's not gonna do anything. I just think that she wants to be able to be feminine, and that ways of like taking care of her man or doing stuff around the house. Like it's not. I don't think soft life mean lazy. I just think it's her being able to be feminine and submissive. Yeah.
All right, Fine.
I mean, I don't want to jump the order or anything.
No, go ahead. I want to hear from you, Fine.
So I got a question before I say what I was gonna say. So you said that when you hear the soft life, it makes you think, a woman resting in her femininity. What exactly is that?
I mean, I think like her not being in like that survival dominant role all the time. I think especially in modern day with a lot of women, they're becoming more in like their CEO roles, that leadership role. I feel like dealing with that, and especially in like corporate America, they have to be more aggressive most of the time and dominant. So I think like when she gets home, I think she wants to be able to just relax and not be in that masculine dominant role. Yeah, I just
So
feel
would
like
that be like relax, kind of put your feet up?
I mean, yeah, but I feel
You
like
could almost argue lazy.
I mean, not necessarily. That's what I was saying. I don't feel like
I mean,
I don't feel like that's lazy.
like anything they doing.
No, I don't think that it means just move your feet up, because these women are still out here doing it. Like
They just
still
don't want
doing
to.
it. No, it's like you can live a soft life and still be productive. But it's just like saying that I don't have to, like you said, be in survival mode. I don't have to be like the sole provider for my household. I don't have to be head of household. Like this is like I'm deserving of, like I feel like I live a pretty soft life. Like it's not like all like luxurious and we're going to, on these fancy trips. Not that type of soft life, but he is like the sole provider. Like I don't have to work if I don't want to, right? Like I can lean on him and know that things are going to be taken care of. That doesn't mean that I'm not exhausted at the end of the day, because also I'm a homeschool mom. We also have our business that we run together. So it's like,
I'm glad you said that. That's actually what I was trying to point out is like, to me, this is like, I want a softer life. Like, from your perspective, you say I have the soft life, but you don't by any chance, have a lot of time where you're not doing nothing. You take on a lot of responsibilities. You have a lot of things you're doing.
Yeah.
And so there's an avenue that's been lifted off of your shoulders, but you could argue that you've added other ones that take that place. And so to me, when I'm usually hearing the soft life, it's really more of like, I just don't want to do anything. And it's like, what kind of exchange is that?
Yeah. I think that's the problem. Some women do see the soft life as me not doing anything, and I think those are women who pretty much who haven't had an example of the soft life.
Yeah.
But for the most part, what they're saying is like that's what I understand the soft life to be culturally. That's what it is. It's relieving that woman of that financial burden.
Right.
Yeah.
So it doesn't mean that she doesn't contribute to the finances, but she's not responsible for being the sole provider, because that's a lot of weight. And that reminds me of an episode. It's so funny. It reminds me of an episode of Bel Air. My wife and I was watching Bel Air.
Is it the new one?
The new one. Okay. Yeah. I'm waiting for the rest.
Yeah, I need another season to come out.
Really?
All right, I'm the only one who ain't seen it.
So on Bel Air, the dad, Uncle Phil, he's like making a lot of money. He has his law firm. But the one day Aunt Bev started like complaining about the stress of her job. And she was just like crying, and she was like, you don't give me any emotional support. I just need more of your attention. That's how she sounds. Even when she's talking, it sounds like she's crying. But look, I don't know your name, but I love you. We love you, black woman. I'm not making fun of you, but I felt like I had to do that. She said, "But we are." All right, but Nikki said, I didn't even catch it, but Nikki was like, "Why is she crying? This is what she want to do. She literally don't have to do this." She said her man. Yeah, you were saying her husband.
Yeah.
Was
it when she started to go into like doing her artwork?
Yes. Yeah. And everybody was praising her about being a woman. It was all about her being the head honcho in charge.
Yeah.
But it was like your husband literally has all of this. You don't have to do it.
Right.
So the moment it becomes stressful, just say, you know what, I quit. You're fine.
Right.
You don't have to bury it. But she chose not to live that soft life when it was right there in front of her.
Yeah.
That's
and I feel like that's why I like kind of trying to point it out, like her being able to bask in her femininity. Because I think a lot of people like misunderstand women in certain circumstances, especially like her pursuing a passion like that. Like, I feel like, granted, I don't feel like she was used to like that type of environment because she for so long was like doing the housewife stuff. So I think like on her end to be like kind of like supportive of what she was saying, I think she meant it more so in a way where it was like outside of like his own thing. I think she just wanted him to pay attention to her more as in regards to like how to like navigate through those type of situations or like check in and stuff like that. Because I feel like watching the show, I think that she definitely wanted to do that. She wanted to be in that position to where she expanded that and what she loved doing. I just think that she went into it and it's like she didn't get support that she felt like she thought was going to get.
So the problem with that is that's unfair to Uncle Phil. Like he everybody Uncle at this point. But that's unfair to Uncle Phil because he's managing a really big law firm. He doing his thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And now she takes on a huge task.
Right.
And now she's adding to his plate.
Right.
You know, which is like, it could be like really stressful.
Let me ask this question.
I understand that.
Because before she was like the wife that was helping him with the campaign and different things like that. She was doing all those things, helping, assisting him and doing things like that. Then she decided that, you know, I feel like I set everything down for so long to take care of the kids, to help you with this. I want to pursue my passions now. So is it wrong for a woman to decide that she wants to pursue her passions when she's helped raise the kids and do things like that, and now she just want to kind of pursue something that she's passionate about? Is it wrong for her to want to pursue it, or should she put all her passions aside when she's married?
No, so I would say she has to count the cost though. So I mean, if that's what she want to do, when things start getting rocky for her, she can't look at her husband and be like, "You're not giving me all of this support." You actually need to be understanding of the fact that he's not giving you support, and he may not be able to give you as much support as you need, because he didn't sign up for that, and he wasn't ready to switch like that. You know what I'm saying? And he may not have thought about it at the moment when she said, "Hey, I'm about to start a business." He's just probably thinking like most men, "Hey, I'm going to support her because if I don't, she's going to hold it against me."
What's your thoughts, Brian? I would love to hear you.
I don't understand why. I don't know. I think people nowadays just feel like they deserve a whole lot of stuff, and I don't know why. Like, I don't understand why people think they deserve a soft lifestyle. I don't get that. I don't know that it makes sense that you deserve to chase a career that don't make sense. You're not ready for it. You ain't built to handle. I don't know that any of that makes sense. It sounds like a lot of people just don't want to deal with the consequences of their decisions. Like, even in the story, she was being a good wife and she decided she was going to go on this venture. You can't then expect it to be easy, and then when it's not easy, it's your husband's fault. Like,
yeah, that's fair, because then like, so women, the women who say that they need help but their husbands aren't rich, I understand that. Like, you work in a job, and I understand that, you know, all of the pressure that you bring in that home, because now you're forced to, you know, take part in the workforce.
Right.
So when that happens, I understand it.
Mm-hmm.
But if somebody's rich, and then the woman says, you know what, I feel like I want to do this, even though I don't need it, she's bringing a headache because now she wants to pursue her career.
Right.
She want to feel like she's done something, which I really, honestly, and I know some people are going to hate this, but I really think the best thing a woman could do is to tend to the needs of her home. That sounds like I think it only sounds like a bad thing because white America argued that. But I believe culturally we understood that. I mean, the woman was responsible for being the teacher, the nurse, the counselor, the therapist, everything. Like, so now everything my kids know, my wife taught them that. So whatever they become is because of her. So if she raised up doctors and lawyers, she gets all of the credit for that. Mm-hmm. So she's that protector and security guard too, because she's minding everything that they do.
Right.
I think sometimes at work, I'm like, I don't want to work so much because I want to take part in that. You see what I'm saying? So I low-key kind of envied that. I think that's the best part of the family. But now it's just like everybody's wrestling for the masculine role. I want to be the provider. You know what's funny? Well, I've been working so long, but the kids say mama bed, mama room, mama bathroom, mama house, mama car. You see what I'm saying? And I'm fine with that because that's how much the woman is praised for being a nurturer within the home.
Yeah. Now I don't think I do understand like some women want more masculine roles, but I don't think I do believe because women do all those things, they do deserve a soft life. Like they do deserve, to be treated well. They do deserve rest and things like that.
Based on what?
Okay, so you go to work, right?
Right.
And when you clock out, right? But and then
you don't clock out from being
like men. You clock out from work, but then you come home, you might be fed well, and
you said I want to be fed well?
No, you're fed well. Like, that woman, she's been working, whether she's at home or going to work, and she'll clock out of her job, but she's clocking in at home.
Right.
But even if she's a woman that's just at home, she's still at home with all the same responsibilities. She doesn't clock out until she goes to sleep. I do believe that it is important for a woman to receive that rest, receive that extra attention, because while she is making sure that you're well, that's how you make sure that she's well, so that she can live a long life, so she can live a healthy life. So many women...
Don't y'all already outlive us?
No, that's not... No. In they say, like, in a marriage, most of the time the man lives longer than a woman.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's mostly because the woman is taking care of the man, and she's doing all those things, and she's putting her needs to the side because, she's making sure that the kids are good. So everybody's good, but she's not making sure that she's good. I think it's very important that we do be mindful. Hey, rest. Hey, get some time alone so she can mentally decompress, because it is very mentally taxing for a woman to be around kids a lot, just to even be doing just so many different things, like so many things. Like women naturally, you don't even have to have kids. Our minds go, they go, just go. We're thinking about like my husband, like, I don't know if this happened with you, but like I literally think about every outcome that can possibly happen for whatever that I'm doing. So it's like, I have processed so much. So
remember
I'm like always.
I was telling you about.
I'm always thinking. So it's like,
neuroticism, not neuropathy. My bad.
But like I tell you that all the time. And he's like, "Why are you thinking like that?" I'm like,
Yeah.
Every scenario just passed through my head.
You bring that up. I want to say something that might throw a wrench in this conversation, but I just feel like this is a perfect time to introduce this. So I was listening to this guy speak today, and he was like, as a man, he's like, I've been in a lot of relationships where if the woman didn't introduce a problem, I would have thought we had a great relationship.
And what what context is the problem? Like for example, like what kind of problem?
Well, whatever problem you'd bring up in the relationship.
But what do you consider a problem? Because I feel like bringing something to his attention, I feel like most times, I feel like men take that as you bringing a problem or saying it's a problem. But I feel like, for me, for instance, when I was in a relationship, I feel like if I brought something to your attention, it wasn't to make it a problem or make it an issue, because there have been times where he's like, oh, well, I didn't notice that, or I didn't feel like that was that deep or something like that. I don't think sometimes bringing something to attention is a issue or whatever. That's why I'm saying, like, in what context is things a problem? Because I feel like men are very easygoing. They don't really look at things with certain depth. So it's like, in what like terms or in your context do you feel like something is a problem?
That's a good question. You know, not sure how I want to answer this question. I guess I wouldn't expect that to get thrown back at me like that.
She got him speechless. Whoa.
But I think what the argument the guy's making is that, as you mentioned, men are rather easygoing. And so it's not so much that we don't have faults or issues with our partner. I think in general, we just don't complain as much. Like, you know, I think today's time it's a real place where everybody's like really super critical, especially other men. It's like, you know, just to use an example, hey, if you don't put your clothes in the basket, I'm gonna divorce you for irreconcilable differences. You know, some people might think that's a bit excessive, but that's the climate we in nowadays. Yeah. Whereas a man, on the other hand, is going to probably see your hair all in the sink and think like, man, this is disgusting. But you know what he's not going to do? Divorce you over it. What he's going to do is look at it, be like, ugh, and clean the sink and move on with his life. And so I think what the guy was trying to insinuate is that a lot of the tension kind of comes in with the woman, and, you know, with the woman being involved in the situation. And so sometimes, kind of like you said, you are processing all of the different scenarios. That means that you processing a whole bunch of stuff that didn't happen, a whole bunch of stuff that didn't really matter, but you've experienced now, you've thought about it now, you tired now. That's kind of where, like, he would kind of come in and be like, I don't know, like, how you so exhausted, but you've been mentally doing gymnastics. But he's like, I don't know how to help you not do mental gymnastics.
I think I feel like that's like a natural thing for women. Because like even, I feel like it comes in handy, like especially having kids. Like when they ask to do something, like everything that can possibly may go wrong in this scenario or may go right in this scenario, I can see it. So like say we're out doing something, which is why men, they'll just be like, yeah, go ahead, climb that tree branch. But in my head, I can see every possible thing that can go wrong. Oh, look, there's like a little thing right there. He might trip, walk over it and, you know, fall. And so like I can see everything that's going to go wrong. So I think that makes us more cautious with things, and we're not like going to go and do crazy things. So I see how that can come up. I wonder,
you don't think your husband sees that though?
Well, that's what I was just about to say. So we do see it. We see it differently though. Let me explain. We do see it differently. So how y'all think about every possible outcome that could go wrong, we see every possible outcome that could go wrong too, just from a different perspective. So if I allow, like if my kids are playing at the playground, right, and my wife this is real life stuff. My wife is like, hey, don't let him play, he can fall and hurt himself. She's thinking like worst case scenario, he could break a bone and stuff like that. What I'm thinking is he fall, he breaks a bone, that's the chances of that happen is slim to none. But if it does, he's going to heal. It's all about the experience. If he doesn't do this, he won't develop the skills and the strength that he needs, or even the confidence that he needs to know that he can accomplish this. So if mom is always holding his hand or telling him, you can't do this now, then she sets limits to him.
I can agree with that.
So men, we think about all these different outcomes too. We just see it a whole lot different.
Yeah.
I do too. I want to respond to over this table because earlier he had said that women live longer. He actually said a lot in the chat.
Okay. All right. I was pretty sure.
I think they live longer, but not in marriages.
So in marriages, in happy marriages, I will say there was a Harvard study that in happy marriages, and they study over a 17-year period, that married men survive far longer by 69 months.
So hold on. Wait.
Well,
So
it said a median of 69 months. So that's what it says. Then separated widow patients. And they also say I read into the study. It said that was also thanks to the woman because the woman would take care of them and make sure that they were good. And that also goes into what Herbalist Table said.
That don't necessarily mean that women.
So
that's, to be fair, that don't necessarily mean that women live shorter lives because of marriage. But what that entails is that women, good women who are in happy marriages will make sure that their men live longer. Because before, if a man isn't married, the statistics say that women live longer. So when he's happily married, that woman nurse him so that he can live longer.
Yeah, but so I know they say there was a study because I think we both read it that women women are single they live longer, and when women are married they don't live as long.
That's why I'm single.
Which is why a lot of women are like, well, I'm not getting married or whatever. But I think the issue is it's not that you shouldn't get married. I think that we all have to be mindful that just as she's taking care of you, make sure we're reciprocating that back to her, making sure that she gets that time apart. And I see so many, I didn't understand it at first. It was like this lady, she had a post on Instagram and she was like, I don't know, I think it was something really extreme. I felt like it was like a month away from her family. Like she took a month away. She stayed at like a apartment or something, and like her husband took care of the kids for that month or whatever, or maybe the kids was by family, and the husband probably got his time to himself too. But all I know is that she had a month and she said how transforming, like it was hard because she missed them so much and she was talking on the phone, but at the same time it made her be able to figure out like scheduling, how things were going to work. It made her figure out like food prepping. Like she was so rested. Reset, yeah. She was able to detox. She wasn't, she didn't have all the extra stress on her. And I was like, first I probably, before like experiencing kids and everything, that understanding the burnout that women can go through, I would have probably been like, girl, that's kind of extreme. I mean, I think a month is extreme.
I still think it's extreme.
I think a month is kind of extreme. But at the same time, I don't know what she was dealing with. She could have been dealing with things mentally, so I can't judge her. Maybe she really needed that month.
Do we know how old she was?
I'm gonna say she looked like she was, black on crack, but she looked like she could have been in her 30s.
So I would say an easy fix to that, and this may not have been fit for her situation, but get family involved. Because I mean,
sometimes that's hard because a lot of people.
I did say that. Okay. I did say that it may not have been feasible for her situation. So, but I'm only speaking for the people who are hearing that and say, you know what, I need a man who is going to give me a month off. Because I mean, on the opposite side of that coin, most of and speaking towards the black man, we don't have a lot of millionaires. We don't have a lot of people who are above the middle class who can afford to send their wife away for a month. Because that means that man's going to have to work harder and he's going to have to spend money to find help. Mm-hmm. So that means he takes on that stress. Mm-hmm. So she don't want to come back and she's all rejuvenated and now he's drained. So what we do there, now we have to create a cycle. Now it's his turn to go out for a month. No, we don't want to do that. But I mean, if we can, get family involved.
Yeah.
Because it used to be a village that raised our children. I think what's so stressful now to our women is that they don't have a village. It's just our women raising the kids by themselves. And a lot of them don't have a man either.
Well, I don't know. From the story, and I don't know their life or their experience, but it sounds like this was a consequence of her like being under this constant stress this whole time. But in terms of planning, scheduling, and meal prepping, she could have been doing that the whole time.
Yeah, but that's why I say I don't know what she was going.
So I think the big issue is the bottling it up. Is the trying to do that kind of superwoman thing of holding it together, saying that I'm gonna do it, and then when you finally break down, now it's in a crisis.
Yeah.
That's why.
If you could have just been like, "Hey, this ain't working. Like, what's some help here?" Nobody could have helped her with a schedule.
That's why I think it's important for women to truly be by themselves for as long as they can and discover themselves. Because I feel like once you do get into that role of being a wife, I feel like society puts this pressure on women to where it's like you don't have an identity. It's like you're a mother, you're a wife, you're whatever your job title is, and then it's like, at what point in time during the day do you discover who you are? So I feel like that's important for women, at least my age as well, up in as long as you can, when you know yourself enough to where it's like you are comfortable in who you are, you know your boundaries, you don't get to the point where you're bottling stuff up, you know the healthy measurements to take. Like, you won't get to that point to where you need to take a month away from your kids, or you need to be away from this one and that, when you'll understand yourself enough to where you communicate to your husband, you communicate to your kids. And you're not going to be 100% ready to be a wife or 100% ready to be a husband, but that's why you have to want to be that. You can't not just want a wife, or you cannot just want a husband. You have to want to be those roles as well. So I think, especially nowadays, you have to, as a woman, not just women in general, but from the topic that we speaking on, I think women need to take as much time to themselves to fully learn who they are and be single, because it's not that deep.
All right.
And I said that before.
I gotta push back on that.
I said that before.
Yeah, I gotta push back on that. This is nothing against you, Tori. I know you fresh off of college. They just processed you, but we got women who in their mid to late 30s who still don't know who they are. What is y'all spending all of this time figuring yourselves out doing?
Let me say, this is the difference. You're 23, right? Mm-hmm. She's 23. She's growing up in an age where people are talking about anxiety, people are talking about mental health, people are talking about healing yourself, releasing traumas and stuff like that. Yeah. We came from a society, that age. I graduated in 2009. I graduated in 2009. It was like you go to college, you get married or whatever. Women before that, it was like you find a husband, you get married. Right. It was very traditional and
they
stuff like that.
They were arguably more happy.
No, and no, they were still dealing with traumas, because those same traumas got passed down to us. Yeah. And then we took that trauma and we were experiencing that, and some of them passed them, but then we were like, wait, we gotta, we're coming into the age of healing and stuff like that, but we're already in marriages. We're already doing this thing, so we have to heal ourselves while we have newest marriages.
But most of y'all not.
No, and this is why I believe that a lot of women are going through a lot of divorces, because they are trying to heal themselves while they're in marriage. And it's like, I definitely believe that we have to really, like I said, you have to give grace, because I think these women are leaving these relationships because they say, you know what, I'm not healed. I don't even know who I am. Y'all at the stage where it's like, figure out who you are. Make sure you're healed. Make sure you're whole. So they have a much healthier thing. And now we're raising our kids so that they won't ever have to experience half of those traumas. So it's just like, I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, you're not understanding the situations of what has been passed down to us.
I understand that. I'm just saying it don't really matter. Y'all still got the same problem right now.
No, but at the same time,
what I'm saying is that you're trying to pull an identity away from where you get your identity from, which is why you just continuously get worse and worse and worse.
No, but at the same time, if she heals herself and she makes sure that she can
heal herself.
She can heal herself from past traumas.
Let me ask y'all something. Because I see what he's saying. I think y'all arguing two different things. So he's talking about identity. So how do you think men identify themselves?
I think that's a question y'all should ask yourself, because I feel like a lot of, my generation, are y'all millennials?
We are.
Okay.
We are.
I couldn't think of the term beforehand.
I think as Gen Z, I feel like a lot of, especially guys around my age, they don't know their self. Like they're very all over the
We
place.
baby boomers.
Oh.
No, we not. No, we not.
But they don't know themselves.
Yeah, I feel like they're all over the place. So like going to back what I initially said, I feel like when it comes to healing, I feel like especially our generation, not just women too, I feel like men more so now as ever. I feel like my generation needs to do the groundwork because I feel like it really do come from our parents and how we grew up and what we saw. And I feel like more so being able to deal with certain things in a healthier way. Like, no, we're not going to be 100% healed. And I'm kind of referring to myself too because I feel like a lot of things I've dealt with in the past, I dealt with it in an unhealthy way. So like instead of approaching things in a way where it's like it's constantly conflict and y'all can't come to like an understanding or an agreement, you come to a point where you can agree to disagree, or like y'all have a healthy understanding instead of just constantly being this battlefield. Like I think a lot of men do not know themselves in my generation because they self-identify through other people, and they don't know themselves because of certain things they've gone through with their family or certain things like that. So I think everybody needs to find healing with themselves. I don't know. It's just all over the place.
And that's true. I like what Cariel said. She said self first, then family. You can't take care of family if you're not right within, and that's why people crash out. Balance is important. Love your family, but do things for yourself while not neglecting family.
Right.
But that shouldn't solely be your identity, which I believe is definitely true. Yes, women are we are the mothers and the shaper of our children and different things like that, but also women in society far beyond this Western society. Before we got here, we were also like great women in our like villages, back home. These women were people went to them for advice and different things like that. We're the counselors for the community too. Mm-hmm. So women carry wisdom and they can give that to whomever. So women's role is not just solely the home. Women, they have other purposes. Some women make clothes and stuff for other people. Some women cook very well. Like some women can do a plethora of things.
But there's a difference though, and I do want you to understand that that's a European concept to develop an identity for yourself.
No, I'm
because
saying
back then, so back then in our culture, there wasn't a Queen Ebony, Ebony who's like known for designing clothes. She made and designed those clothes for her family. It was for a purpose, not to establish a name for herself or an identity. That may have just happened, but she needed to do that. Or she was doing something out of love for her community, and they praised her for just having that heart of love. The counseling, all of this stuff is because of who she is. It's not her trying to establish an identity. And then again, every woman wasn't praised for all of these things. Some women weren't known for all of these things, just like a lot of men weren't known for anything.
But I understand back then. I understand what you're saying, but I also feel like it was different depending on where you were. It was definitely. I think it was definitely different depending on where you were, and I know I have an example probably after the show, but it's like.
So let me expound just a little bit on why I say the individual thing, just for clarity. So there's no artwork from African culture where people are like, oh, this is done by Giovanni Kelly. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't that. It was this art was done by the Igbos. This art was done by the Bantu. This art was done by them. It's not. It wasn't.
I think because maybe the person got lost over time.
Because over the community, the community did art. They did art for a purpose, not to establish their name. So they didn't have famous artists.
I think that would be more of a study we'll have to go through to understand that. But
that's fair enough.
We'll have to study
that's fair enough. That's fair enough. But I would challenge you: find me an African artist from before civilization.
Yeah,
I want to know a healed woman that has completed the dream.
Now,
name me a healed woman that's completed the dream.
What's
managed to have her career, have all the money, have her kids, and end up married happy.
Do y'all feel like women shouldn't have that though? Do y'all feel like women shouldn't have a career if they're going to be a wife?
I mean, I think that it's more important to have a family than have a career. But I think you could have both. I just think it's the order that's important.
Yeah, and my argument is not that a woman shouldn't have a career. It's just that she shouldn't use her career to be her identity. Right. Like she shouldn't use her career to identify her. And I notice that's an excuse for a lot of women. For a lot of women, we hear,
education.
I need to find out who I am. I feel like and she always ties, I'm not, I don't know who I am because of she haven't found a field of work or a hobby that she really loves.
Why does that make, why shouldn't she use her form of work to identify herself, as part of her identity? What's wrong with that?
Because it's kind of what men do.
Okay, so the moment, so your job is not who you are. The moment, whatever your career doesn't work for you anymore, then who are you?
I could say the same for men, though.
We don't use our jobs to identify us. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so what I'm more or less saying is that I think the pursuit of finding your identity through a craft, I think, is typically something more men do. But go ahead and pick your point.
Are you saying that because it's not traditional?
No. So I don't know what Prime getting that from, but I don't think men identify themselves with their job. Because if a man has a career, he may be proud of that. But men, especially black men, a lot of us work the crappiest jobs. Who wants to be identified as a garbage truck worker or a McDonald's worker or what else? A construction worker? I'm a construction worker.
Well, I don't think women identify themselves as their job. I think women identify more with their passions. So being an artist or being a dressmaker, that's something that they're passionate about. I think those things bring women joy, and it's good for their mental health.
To just somehow be their career.
Yeah. So it's like, I feel as though that's things. It's like, if you're a woman and you were, doing these things before, and then you do eventually feel like, dang, I feel like I may have lost myself. Within this, because it's you go from being single, you're in a relationship, and then it moves fast. Now you're married, and then now you have kids. Life comes real fast, so it's kind of like, whoa, wait, and then you're going through postpartum. Mentally, you are all over the place, and you're kind of like, dang, wait, looking in the mirror, I look terrible. I used to look good. What has happened? Who am I? And you're confused, and it's like, all I do is sit around all day changing diapers, and I don't get out. I don't get no sun. It's just, women are going through that, and it's a mental battle. And I think that's what you're not understanding on that point, that it's a mental battle, and a lot of things for women are definitely mental. I'm not saying that
sounds like it's not as hard as you making it out to be, and that's why you're frustrated. That's
because you've never been a woman.
Well, no, you said I literally sit around all day and change diapers. Well, I've been around babies. They do not poop constantly every single second. So that means you sitting around quite a bit, not doing nothing.
No, that is...
You telling me you can't go outside?
Okay, so you're taking that very literal. No.
But it's...
They said, can you hear me? Because they said, can I get my mic turned up a little bit more? I don't know. Can you hear me now more? I'm sorry. Because I said I'll sit closer. But, so I definitely feel as though...
But to your point, I'm not... I am picking at you what you literally said. But what I'm getting at is that a lot of these mental gymnastics are in your head.
No, but it's
true.
It's
you
life.
have more than enough time to get what you need to get done.
No, but it's life. It's still life. You have never breastfed a child and you can't leave that child. Your child is exclusively breastfed because they don't want to take a bottle, and that child has to go with you everywhere. So do we have
to compare struggles?
No, I'm not comparing struggles. I'm
not blaming you for it. I'm just saying that
you're saying that it seems like they're not doing anything.
Well, I'm just saying your life is not substantially harder than mine.
No, I'm not saying that, but at the same time, it's like you are taking everything that the woman
you asking me to give you, but
you're being taken care of. You're being taken care of by that same woman who's taking care of that baby who is neglecting herself.
But if you at home with this baby, who taking care of you?
a baby is very tiring. So you want to go to sleep sometimes. Having newborn, I'd had 3 kids within they're all like 2 years apart, and that is very. And one, it's like you never really get back to you. It takes, especially when you're breastfeeding, that's taking so much out of you. You never really get back to you mentally. You got to rebalance your life every time. Like, you got to figure it out differently every time, because now you got this baby that came along that's breaking your sleep. Mm-hmm. You're doing all those things, and at the same time, you're still making sure that, dinner's on the table, right, and everything like that. That I homeschool as well, so I'm making sure that they're learning. So it's a lot of juggling that's going on.
You basically can't be 2 people, right?
I'm 10 different people, and I'm trying to be
right. You trying to be 10 different places at once, right?
Because that's what a woman does.
And
while
that's
you
the
sit
argument
at
for
work.
polygyny.
No, that's why. No, you sit at work, and you sit at work and you do work, right? And that's it. You're not worrying about anything else, but you're being a mom, a homeschool teacher, a chef. If a child get hurt, now you're a nurse. You're doing all these things. If you
right, but you're doing them in smaller capacities, though.
No, it can all come at you really fast.
You're not like a doctor for an hour. You're not like a college professor.
You ever
for
had
an
a
hour.
sick child?
You're not like an industrial cleaner for an hour.
Yes, you are.
You
an industrial cleaner all day.
All
day. You are cleaning
you really
all
are
day.
Industrial cleaner all day.
You doing all
That's why I
day.
think that traditional idea of husband and wife should be tweaked, because I don't feel like, and also I think it should be based upon what works for the relationship, because I feel like this battle is always like roles and men and women, when I think you should do what works for you in your relationship. If you do have time, if I'm getting off work at 8 o'clock, I'm late at the office, and you get home before me like 5, 6 o'clock, what's wrong with you going take the clothes out the dryer that's been drying and folding them up really quick? That takes something extra off my plate. I think so many people, especially older generations, were so set on women do this, men do that. I don't feel like it has to be like that. Like, no, we're not equals as men and women, but I feel like if it's something to take the load off the other, nothing is wrong with that. Like, I don't know where society got that mixed up or misconstrued, but I don't feel like that should be the norm. Women, this, that, and the third. She's cooking, she's cleaning, she's doing this. What if that woman don't know how to cook?
Peanut butter jelly sandwiches.
You're gonna are you gonna
So if that woman doesn't know how to look, then a man wouldn't expect her to be a housewife. But just for the record.
Okay, because she don't know how to cook, that excludes her from being a housewife. There's other duties to a housewife.
No. I'm saying before the man marries her, he already knows what she can do.
Right.
So if he's not going to expect her to be inside the house cooking.
Right.
So I mean, if he's going to marry her, knowing that she can't cook, then I mean he
gonna have a woman who can cook.
And I love what Leslie said. She said that I don't think that we need to compare roles, but a mom and a wife do a lot. Men also deal with the world on daily. And I wouldn't compare it. Exactly. That's what I'm.
What did Erin say?
She said she preferred to be called the woman.
Erin said saying a man just sits at work is crazy.
All right.
I'm just saying. I know men do laborious jobs. I'm not comparing, but that's what I was saying. I'm not comparing it. I understand you just go through your thing.
Yours is so much worse than ours, and that's crazy.
No, but it's
it is. Prime. It is. Their job is a whole lot. If a woman is a stay-at-home. This is the reason why we're talking about stay-at-home wives too, because we were talking about soft life. So that's the stay-at-home.
That's how
wife.
we got it.
So we're not saying that every woman should be a stay-at-home wife.
Right.
But
learn to cook. I'm sorry.
So
that was a good comment.
Yeah. What I was saying, I lost it.
You was about to come to their defense about why their job is harder than ours.
Oh, you thought I was about to come to you. That's what you thought. All right. So their job is harder than ours.
Okay. Lay it on me.
Because I keep saying it. I do not think that the house is for just one woman to take care of. That's why the woman is going to be overstressed. That's why the woman is going to keep saying she need help, because she do. She do need help. So that's why I said earlier, it takes a village. Mm-hmm. Get other people involved. I'm not saying a second wife, but I'm not saying that that's not an option.
Wet nurse?
A wet nurse?
Never mind. Continue on with your point.
What I'm saying is,
gosh.
I don't think that job was ever meant for a woman alone. That's why
I agree with you.
That's why we have so
I
much
agree with
trouble and stress with it.
Yeah.
So even that does also mean that the man come home and he helps
And that's what
and not relax. Even though it
definitely-
used to be like that, it used to be the man come home and he relaxed, but at the same time, the woman wasn't doing it by herself. We had more of a community core.
But at the same time, like she was saying, it's definitely dependent upon the relationship, how you're gonna operate it. Because there's some women that don't mind being stressed out, and we gonna send them to you, Prime. And they don't mind an extra wife and all that. I'm gonna send all them women to you.
Right. The women
so
who don't want the extra stress, the women who don't want to do all of the extra
DM
stuff.
us.
They want to just do their part of it, make the whole system run. We're gonna build an empire. Come see me.
And be jealous of each other. But
y'all jealous anyway. That's the whole reason behind the tea. Y'all just on there hating on the game. Y'all already know.
Herbalist Table said he was a stay-at-home dad. It really comes down to structure. When there is no structure, of course, it's hard, but that routine makes it easier. Being a stay-at-home dad, now, look, I've seen people that have been stay-at-home dads, and they're no longer stay-at-home dads because they said it was stressful. So
Because they were weak.
No,
they were weak.
No,
No, that's true. Because Herbalist Table is 100% correct, and you know it. When the kids are at home with me, it's completely different from when they're at home with you.
No, that's what I'm about to say. Wait,
hold
up.
No.
Hold up, let me
I'm saying
finish.
because he's right.
I was about to say it's very easy for a man to be a stay-at-home dad, and it feels like it's good. But at the same time, I'm gonna tell you this: men get very tiresome of kids more easily than us women do.
Yeah, it won't be fun for them.
It is not. It won't be fun. It won't be exciting. It'll be really like, why are you crying? What's going on? Type things. And we deal with the same thing, but we have a little more compassion for the child. Now, when men go through those things, like mentally, men can't really do that role. So when a man does it, we can't really compare. Because me, I could last a lot longer in it. You know, wait.
What? Can't do what?
Be a stay-at-home dad.
No, it would just look different from y'all.
Yeah, but it's also a little easier for you guys because the way kids view father as
naturally submissive to us.
Exactly. Right. And with us, they're like.
So how you gonna say we can't do it? Y'all just
we could do it. It's just
like the time,
I think
they would prefer being with mommy.
Like high
probably
expectations on stay-at-home dads than housewives because. I think a lot of things, like, for instance, like I was saying about her not being able to cook. I think a lot of men look for wives. Well, I'm not going to say that most men, you would prefer a wife that knows how to cook, knows how to do all these things. But when a woman is, like, interested in finding her husband, most times she's just looking for you to have money. I feel like, especially nowadays, most men, you're going to have some form of money or financial income. So it's like all these other things aren't placed on you as to be expected. I feel like some of those things y'all can come together to find a new hobby or like, you know what I'm saying? Something as simple as learning how to cook. Y'all can do that together. Y'all can make a meal together. That could be something that's intimate or romantic. Like, I don't know why there's this thing where it's like there's certain expectations on you. And then I feel like it's like on the flip side for a stay-at-home dad, it's fun, it's cool, it's this and that. But it's like for a housewife, she's cooking, she's cleaning, she's doing this, she's doing that. Like, why is there this like,
you know what I think the difference is? Is that as men, we don't give ourselves credit for stuff we didn't have a choice to do. So, like, we don't talk about, I can cook for myself, I can clean for myself, I can wash my dishes, I can buy my car.
I feel like that gotta
we
go
don't
back
talk about that
generations.
because as a man, you just got to do that. Women do that. So, you, like, have this story about we doing all of these things, and we sit over here looking at you, doing our absolute best to be respectful to you this whole conversation, and being like, welcome to being an adult. Like, how was you gonna feed yourself while you was alone finding yourself?
Yeah, I can't agree to that not being.
I think we do a good job ignoring nature. Nature itself shows that women are supposed to be the ones at home while the kids are at least small, because I mean you have your food that come out of your body.
And I'm not.
You know what I'm saying? So, but I would say back to the stay-at-home dads. It would be a different experience.
Could I add something to that?
Go ahead. You got it.
I just hot off the presses here. There are studies done about single father households do vastly better than single mother ones?
I mean,
so
I would
kind of flies in
I
the
would
face
hope,
of the
I would
man
hope
can't
so.
do it.
Yeah, but no, at the same time, but you that don't discredit those single mothers that have done it. So don't discredit them. There are single mothers who have raised exceptionally well kids.
Right, but what about the other ones that's filling up the prisons?
All right, but at the same time, sometimes you got to look back at the mother and how she looked. And then I got to look at the father probably wasn't in any position to raise that child. These men probably, the men who are probably, who are single dads, they're probably more of men of a higher caliber. Maybe something happened to the wife, or maybe, maybe the mother just wasn't good and they took in the child. But it's probably very rare that these men are taking care of these kids and the mother was like really ratchet and out there doing crazy stuff. I'm just saying, some of these moms who are single moms, they out there, they wildin', they want to be young. Some of them having kids. The man who they was with was not worth anything. So it's all based on the man.
That's not necessarily true. So you missing those women who tried their best, who were single mothers, and their sons still end up dead or in jail.
No, okay, that's true. There are some women who were, but at the same time, when you miss the structure of the father, that's what they're missing. They're missing the structure of the father. They're missing the discipline. But at this, so you have, because you have the structure, because you are the man, you think that's something to hoop and holler about? I'm just saying that's a natural thing.
So I think
it's a natural thing.
So what the statistics is missing is that I don't believe there's a such thing as a single father home. Because when a father raises a child by himself, quote unquote by himself, he's going to have a woman involved. I think the problem is those single women, they don't necessarily understand the importance of having a man involved when they're raising the kids.
But I think that's just the differences between how men and women think. Like, a man gets money to take care of a family. A woman oftentimes makes money to prove she's independent of men.
No, but like he said, to his point, men also have help from their mothers and their sisters and all those different
because
things.
We understand
like that.
We need it.
Okay, but at the same time, some of these women, like I said, you got some women that
celebrate Father's Day and Mother's Day.
Who they gonna bring their child around? Then you got some women who they feel like they have no connections. They don't know where to bring the child to, so their child gets lost in the system. They're not able to solve their problems. Okay, but are we going to blame these women, or are we going to blame maybe there is no role models around them? Who else are we going to blame? Or maybe, no, I'm just saying, you can't blame the woman, because guess what I'm going to blame? I could blame the father that probably just stepped out.
Well, we can blame him too. The father immediately gets like, he just stepped out, he just ran away.
You're just, I said, why just blame the woman?
Her a little bit of grace.
Like, why are we just blaming the woman? You can't also blame the father who left too. We're not
blaming. It's not about just blaming the women. You make the argument that a man is not intellectually capable of being able to be there full time with the children.
Stay-at-home dad.
Well, that's what a single father would have to do.
No, they won't. They won't. They will send their kids off to school. That's the difference from being a stay-at-home dad who are watching the kids 24/7. That is the difference.
So, because we don't get the luxury of a woman paying our bills, we can't do the same thing?
I'm talking about, so a stay-at-home dad is a man who will stay at home with the child, watching him 24/7 while the woman is the provider. She's providing.
Well, no, you add an extra, because every stay-at-home mother don't homeschool their kids though.
No, then I wouldn't argue that is a stay-at-home mom. I would say you're at home. That's not a stay-at-home.
There will be a lot of women
like you're not working. You're probably more following a traditional role.
I agree with you, because it's like that's a whole lot of empty space. But I think women do.
That's the difference.
They will consider
I think,
it to be
but I think women
though.
who follow more of a traditional role, they have, and they're sending their kids to school. They have a lot more time to get things done, to decompress, to do a little things. Now that time do go by fast, because I see a lot of women talk about that time go real fast from drop off to pick up, but at the same time they still was able to get things done. It's different when you're a stay-at-home mom and you gotta load up all the kids in the car, load them out the car, put them in the basket, slap hands and tell them don't touch nothing in the store. It's a difference from being a stay at home mom versus
I don't
a
disagree
traditional
with you.
mom.
Kyle, what you mean? That's not fair. I didn't figure out what you meant by that. But I'm sorry, continue.
What Kyle said?
She said that's not fair, prom. I don't know what she was referring to.
Everything you say.
Hey, I'm just trying to call truth out here because I'm like I said, I'm not trying to.
I want to. Can I say this? Because April asked the question. Say, but what about a mother who just leave the father to work and cook and clean and leave him with all the responsibility? Nobody ever brings this up. I don't think that there's that many women who do that like just up and leave.
Yeah, because they abort the babies.
Yeah, because I mean, you guys get to choose whether or not you want to deal
with
it.
That's why it's not. I mean, to be fair, that's why it's not that common because the woman's equivalent to leaving a child is aborting that child.
Well, so no, if she's talking about leaving the child with the father.
So no, that's what I was saying. Tori don't get it. So let me explain. Okay. So men walk out on their children, right? So a woman has the power before that child is even born to say, I don't want it. Okay. The man doesn't have that ability to say, I don't want the child. Right. So he walks out. It's the same thing. He's aborting that child. Right. It just, one is praiseworthy and one is condemnation.
But
we condemn one and praise one.
I personally think that's why I feel like I feel like that it's not fair for that to be like scrutinized. If a man has voiced and said he doesn't want that child and he blatantly walks out and you still decide to have that child, at that point that is your fault because you still chose at the end of the day to be a single mom, even though he stated, I don't want to be that, I don't want to be a father. So I could understand.
So that means if a man is not in a community relationship with that woman, she shouldn't expect that child to be a father.
Right.
But that happens a lot.
I agree.
So, I mean, then who's to blame?
We can't blame the mothers.
No, that like you said, that is, at that point, the man said he wasn't going to be there.
You should have been prepared to be a single mother.
But this is why I'm going to jump back to Tori's point. She said that being single as long as you can, making sure that you're good, making sure that you're together, because it's going to avoid a lot of situations like that because you're focusing on you're not chasing, you're not worrying about him, you're getting yourself together. And if somebody does come along while I'm getting myself together and they are the right person, then yeah. But if you're already healed from past traumas, you're not just going to be attracting anybody, the wrong person. So that makes a difference. That's why it's important for women to spend that time alone. What you're afraid to be, because it tells women we get in these relationships, first of all, it's embedded in the cartoons and stuff like that and the TV shows. So then it's like you always want a relationship. Everybody in the school, they in a relationship. So you want to be in a relationship while you're in school, You graduate from high school, and then you're still looking for a relationship in college. So we're keep looking for that, and we're picking up all these like trauma experiences from this guy to that guy. So we keep getting all these bad mates, which is why a lot of these women end up pregnant, and then they're like, well, no, I want to keep my baby, because sometimes morally for them it's like, I don't want to do abortion because morally I don't feel that is right. So you have women that believe that as well, so they do keep the child, and they may end up being a single mom. They may do a good job and they may do a bad job, but at the same time, going back to her point, this is why it's important for women to make sure they find who they are, they know who they are, whatever that may be, whether that's through religion, whether that's through, whatever your thing is that's gonna mentally, affirmations, whatever it is to make you strong, then go do that, and then you attract the right spouse.
So here's the problem. Like, again, this works if y'all was men. Like, this plan of yours could work if you were men.
Why does it not work if she's a woman?
Because you got a shot clock. You're born with a lot of your gifts up front. No. They expire over time.
Okay. But what I feel like, especially
while
now,
you spending your good years alone,
I feel like
crazier by yourself.
She's healing.
Finally start looking for a man.
I feel like that's very unhealthy. That's an unhealthy perspective, though, because I'm thinking about time. I'm thinking about my time and how much time I have to be a mother, to be a wife, to be this, to be that. I feel like, especially my generation of women, we come into terms with, even though that's the nature of a woman, supposedly that's what she's supposed to become, as a wife and a mother, that's the main goal.
Right.
I feel like most of us, especially me, are becoming comfortable.
With
if
not
I don't
having-
end up having children, that's fine. If
Right.
I don't end up having a husband, that's fine.
Right.
But I feel like it's also important. Like, I get what you're saying, you also on time, but I feel like if you focusing on that and you're always worried about that, you gonna run into the wrong man because you so focused on, I'm 30 years old, I don't have much time, I don't have this, I don't have that. That's understandable.
You end up
But do you
settling.
know yourself? Who are
but
you?
what I'm saying, but my point to you is that what the argument you're making is going to force you to make that very decision you're talking about.
But they said they're okay
You're
with
thinking,
that.
Me
you're
personally,
thinking that
I'm-
these decisions are separate, and what I'm arguing to you is you're not. When you're alone and you're thinking you're gonna manifest the man, you're gonna get the man who's not very good for you.
But
the one who's
she didn't
going
say
to
that you're going to manifest a man.
the man who's
She's
gonna
not-
run
she's-
into you, the man you're gonna attract. Whatever word you want to use for it is not gonna be the man that you're looking for.
You can. No, you can. If you spend time by yourself and stuff like that. This not saying she said, like, oh, I'm going to be single for 10 years. Like, she's not, like, I don't think anybody's saying that. I think people are just saying that they're looking at what we and generations before us have put in front of them, and they see broken homes and stuff like that, marriages that just fall apart, people that they're not healed, so they're in marriages and it's all toxic. They see that and they're like, wait, hold up. Let me get myself together, because I feel like if we all get ourselves together, when we come together, we're going to be great, and we're going to have kids that are not going to be full of trauma. Like, think about how many households these kids are used to seeing their parents fuss and fight, like calling each other all types of names. You think that's better? Oh, just because your time clock and you got kids, you need to have kids, and you think that's better for a child to grow up in that environment because both parents were not healed? No, I think any man will rather a woman who is healed and whole and ready to come in and totally be a wife than a woman who has all the traumas from past relationships and different things like that, or not even past relationships, from upbringing and stuff.
But
So I think any man will respect that.
But what I'm saying is like this scenario, I still haven't figured out what the healing is. I still don't know how long this healing is gonna take.
You know why?
That's why I don't say.
then-
I don't say like.
Like, what
That's
does that
why I
even
don't
mean?
specifically say healing. I find it finding healthier ways than what you grew up to, because I feel like, especially for me growing up, I have witnessed unhealthy ways of communication, unhealthy ways of dealing with the problem. Like, if I feel like if I come to terms with finding healthier ways and understanding, educating myself more, I know how to deal with certain things in a better manner.
Here's the problem. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say this real quick.
Go ahead.
I'm happy y'all mentioned the healing thing, because therapists actually admitted that they haven't. A lot of therapists admitted they never healed any of their patients, their clients.
Well, that's a.
Yeah.
But that's why.
No,
I
that
think
was
being-
out of context.
I'm about to tell you the context. The reason being is because it's not you're not healed from these things.
That's why I don't say
It's
You
like,
don't-
okay,
you
well,
just-
she said she
So
doesn't
no,
say
I'm saying
healed.
exactly. I'm saying I'm happy y'all spoke on it. I'm agreeing with you.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because what you saying is like what the therapists were doing. They were actually so basically they tell you ways to deal with it,
Right.
but you're not healing from
Well,
it.
Right.
yeah. So I guess I use heal because that is like the term that is going around. That's what people can relate to. But yeah, you know how to manage. You know how to manage like the blow ups. Like, ooh, I feel like. Hold on 1 second, babe. I feel it's coming. Let me
Give me a
step
second.
out, cool off, and then I come back, because you recognize that
Right.
that is
And
coming
your
up, and
triggers,
you
too.
don't. Yeah, you don't want to. I don't want to disrespect you, so let me walk out, come back in, we'll finish the conversation, right? So I feel like that is, if a woman can recognize that early on, I think
You can avoid
know,
all of that.
yeah, all the other
You
stuff.
really avoid
But
all
you
that.
see, I like what you said. You said that, you can recognize it. Hey, you know what, babe, that was a little bit too much. Let me calm myself down. I think the solution to your actual problem is to find a man. Find one that is of good character, and he's naturally going to balance out
Right.
your crazy with his logic.
But you
which
have
is
to
going to help
also-
you have healthier ways of dealing with things, because
Right.
you're not going to be talking to yourself.
Okay,
You're
but
not going to
some
be
women,
justifying and agreeing to all the crazy stuff that you
there
come up
are
with.
some women
He's
that
gonna
are
say-
like that though.
But what I'm saying is, the women who's sitting in there alone is still being alone. Like fertility rates is dropping, kids is dropping. We having less kids than ever. They killing more kids than ever. Y'all on more antidepressants than ever.
No,
y'all less married than ever.
Antidepressants, because of food, all that. That's what's killing the fertility. So it's not. Women not getting married is not killing the fertility. It's what is being put in our bodies.
No, I'm saying the mindset is killing the fertility. She just said she's perfectly okay not having kids.
That's not fertility, but.
Oh, you're right. That's not her capacity to have kids. That's her willingness to do it.
Yeah, but I think that's okay because also let me read something that Kyle said, and then I want to read something Herbalist Sable said. She said people literally unalive themselves because they make that man and woman their world and then their identity when things fall apart. Mm-hmm. That's all they know. They don't know themselves or even know how to operate. Balance is everything. You can still give all to your family while giving and knowing self. And I believe that is definitely true, which is why I think that it's important to know yourself so that if the relationship doesn't go well, you won't be like this short. Because people have done that. There's men who have went and actually unalived their ex-wives because they could not move on. Yes. You know, and there's women who have done the same. So I think these people couldn't see their worlds apart. Yeah. I think it's very important to know how to move on and be a healthy co-parent. But if we are, and I'm not going to say heal, but if we do understand how to manage our emotions and we learn that in our single life, so we won't have to learn it all while we're married, we're going to have stronger marriages. So, and this is speaking to Herbalist Table. He said talking points like this is a complete disconnect from the family dynamic and Black love. The first commandment is to be fruitful and multiply. And it's like animals are smarter than us at this point. Even the animals in the kingdom understand this. But animals, we can't compare ourselves to animals because animals don't have conflict problems like we do. They're not talking to each other and they're not saying, well, look, you didn't bathe the kids, or I need some help. They just can't justify stuff. No, I'm just saying that they're not dealing with those things. Their minds are a little more simpler than ours. So, but this doesn't disconnect from the family dynamic and Black love. This is to make a stronger family, and if people can get themselves together in their single years, just like she said, the guys right now they don't even know themselves. They're chasing identities. They're going after what their friends say they are and different things like that. So they don't even know themselves. If these guys can get to know themselves and know who they are as a man, and women understand, they learn how to have conversations, and women also, they get to know how to communicate. We know how to communicate properly because we could communicate, but we understand how to say things. There's things I'm learning in my marriage now on how to communicate properly, and I wish I would have known this before because it would save a lot of arguments and disagreements on how to talk. I've been learning one way how to talk all my life. My husband tells me all the time, oh, it's like you're telling me to do something instead of like giving me an option to do it. Right. That's all I've seen growing up. Right. That's all I've seen growing up. So it's like, all right, I don't understand it, but that's what's happening. And then I'm like, but if I would have known this, it would have been a whole lot better. This would be conversations we wouldn't even have. This would be arguments and frustrations we wouldn't have. So it will make our marriage a whole lot stronger. Right. So I'm saying it is healthy. This gives to Black love because if y'all could get this right, you know how amazing these kids will grow up to be? Mm-hmm. Kids that are not in homes where parents are always fighting. Yeah. And, they don't know all these crazy things like, you know, leaving and slamming. Like, just think about that aspect of it. Yeah. Like how whole it would be. And then it would probably be even more harmonious for you if all the women would heal themselves and you in a little poly relationship and everybody know how to communicate with each other.
I disagree. I don't think I need all the healing. I think I could just use a little bit of quiet.
But you ain't gonna get quiet. You're not gonna get quiet if everybody's fussing.
We can skip past all that healing right now and just be quiet.
It kind of goes back to like how you grew up because everybody grew up differently, and I think that's why we all have different perspectives because of how we grew up. The reason I have certain ideals and the way I think is because of how I grew up in my childhood. The way that I seen communication, I'm not gonna say I had to be in a relationship, but I feel like being in a relationship brought that out of me to discover that that's not a way I wanted to communicate because it could have so many problems that were so minuscule and small could have been avoided simply because I wanted to take it further. I wanted to expand the problem more than what it needed to be. So that's why I feel like you have to understand your trauma and understand who you are first, because not everybody grows up the same either. So I think that's what we also have to factor in, because we all have different ways of seeing stuff because of how we grew up. And I think that's why I think the way that I think, because of what I seen as a child and coming up, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I mean,
so I think the problem that we're saying, I'm gonna speak for Prime too. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is that, you know, when women are in this pursuit of healing or developing themselves, whether it's career or personal gain, if you don't put a time stamp on it, then you find yourself being single for the rest of your life. So the statistic, if you pay attention to the statistics from 1960s all the way to 2060, they're projecting that a lot of women a lot of black women in particular, are going to be 50 years old and still single. You know, so if we're not paying attention to that, we won't see things, because life is so fast when you're young.
It is.
And then next thing you know, you're 50 years old and you're wondering why you can't get a man. But then you have men who are trying to communicate. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I don't think the issue is I feel like if a man came and he knew who he was and different things like that, I feel like she would probably be like,
I would definitely give it a shot. But I feel like off rip,
this is not for you, by the way. I'm not speaking.
Right. I'm saying, like, off rip initially, from my experience, especially now, like, now that you guys mentioned you guys are millennials, I feel like now
we old.
Now we old.
I'm sorry. I think our perspective of, like, your perspective of men and what they want is still in that traditional era. They know how to lead. They know how to be men. But I feel like the pool of men that I'm dealing with, I feel like a lot of them are they're very closed-minded, in a sense where it's like they don't want to go heal themselves. Like, they don't want to go figure out where the trauma is coming from, where it's stemming from. Half of them, they don't really know how to communicate well, from my experience. And a lot of them are crash outs. Like, they bottle stuff up just as much as women do in marriages, where men, they don't know, the men these days, they don't know how to channel that energy or find a different way to, you know what I'm saying, do things in a healthier manner. So it's very harder for us. That makes it even harder for us to find our husband.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm not downing the men, but you're 23.
Right.
So what is it, 24, where a man's mind is fully, like, developed?
I thought it was 25.
It's 25? No. So, I mean, this is based off scientific research. If that is true, I can understand that. But in that case, you may need to aim for an older man if you're trying to get married. Somebody's older than 25, 26, 27.
You have to know your person who you're dealing with, because, like I said, I'm okay with that. If I don't, of course I want that. I want to be a mother. I want to be a wife, but I'm not really given much experience that makes me want to do that. Yeah. So it's like, I'm not about to fret my nerves trying to figure out, okay, look for my husband, look for this, look for that. My husband ain't looking for me. So
this is where I would push back on you. Is like, I think this is the problem.
Okay.
So your husband right now, in order for him to have character, to have value, to actually be worth being your husband, he's out doing something. He's out building something. He's out providing value. That's why you need to be intentional in finding a husband.
Right.
Because what you're going to end up doing is end up being single. And if you unfortunately, it don't really work out very well no matter how you take it if you're just single for a long time as a woman. Because the shot clock is still there. I'm just saying, like, even if you hold on to it till you're 50, you still 50. That don't just because it ain't never been open, it still expires. So my point to that being, they gonna hate me for that. But my point to that being is that if you're not intentional about finding your husband, you will find yourself in a place where you can't find a husband. you're eventually going to have the biological urge to want to have children.
Okay, so my question to you,
and then you won't have the ability to do it.
My question to you is, when you are, because I don't know what this saying is, he who finds a wife or whatever. So
finds a good thing.
Right. So I feel like that whole ideology comes from like men, they find their wife or that's naturally their thing to pursue a woman. So my thing
I don't think that's what that means.
Okay, well, that's how I interpret it.
But finish your point.
Naturally, a man pursues their woman. So my whole thing is, do you put yourself on a shot clock, like disregarding children, like Xing out children altogether?
Right.
But do you place yourself on a timeline when you are in certain rooms or certain areas of a woman? Because I think that's why a lot of people say, I've heard people say like, men marry the woman that accepts him, or they end up marrying the woman that they just end up with at a certain age. If that's the woman that they with, they don't actually marry the woman that they've wanted or they loved initially, or whatever the case may be. Right. So do you put yourself on that same timeline and just whatever woman that you have at the time, and you like in your 40s or 50s, I'm gonna marry this woman because
no.
Okay, so why is there a timeline say Xing out children?
Because, you know, fine, I'll give you a few examples. One, I can still have kids after that point without any medical complications. I would just need to find a different woman to do it. Secondly, I'm not going to have to worry about menopause. I'm also not going to have to worry about going crazy and still needing somebody to be there for me after that happens. Because menopause hits and you become a different person. The problem with this, I'm going to wait out and be single, is you don't have enough time to bond with that man.
So you're just thinking of biological.
I'm thinking of the reality of the situation, like the stuff that we know is going to happen.
Okay, but what if some women are okay with that? Like at some point, okay, I'm going to want children, but
you're not having kids and you're on antidepressants. What are you talking about?
Well, that's exactly why it's important for going back to the thing. It's important for women to understand how to have healthy conflict and different things like that, and deal with things that happened in their past and stuff like that. Because, like I said, this all stems, these women are on not just on antidepressants just because they want to be on antidepressants. These women have been through things. They have gone through things. There have been traumas that happened that they could not, in no way, shape, or form, avoid because they were children. So you cannot put that on them to say that, well, because you're on antidepressants. No, they're trying to heal themselves. They're trying to find ways. Unfortunately, in this world, they tell you to get on antidepressants. They don't find a natural way of doing it or whatever. But at the same time, they're healing, because what happens is they're going to get into a relationship and it's going to be miserable for that man, even if he was a good man. It's going to be miserable.
They're forced to be alone.
So at the same time, these women are like, hey, either I get myself together and I find somebody, and I get that because I don't want to bring these problems to that man. I think that's a good thing. And then to Herbalist Table, he said men don't lose value. I would beg to differ that women, our value increases throughout life because we have more wisdom and more experience with the things that we've done. So I don't understand the men don't lose value thing, because it doesn't make you more valuable than the woman at all. I feel like the man, even though you can have kids and stuff like that, it doesn't mean you're a good man just because you have kids. Like,
it's a marketplace statement.
But it doesn't mean you're a good man. Like,
it's not rating whether or not
because you can have kids. Then why be a father if you're not good? Then we're just gonna have
that's not
more
the point
broken
of
homes.
They don't lose value. Is what I'm saying.
I know, but at the same time, but we gain value.
To make men feel bad about it.
No, but we gain value throughout life.
So to be
fair,
to
say men don't lose value is to say that women we're invaluable.
No. To be fair, what he's saying is like, so men not losing value is based off of the woman's standard. So what we're hearing, what the woman wants, everything that a woman, the woman's standards, they don't decrease in value by age. So the women are saying that they want 6'6", right? We know the 6'6", he has to at least have 6 inches. He has to at least have 6 figures, and he has to at least be 6 feet tall.
I don't believe that's every woman.
That's not every woman. No, that's not every woman.
Like,
so one of the main things is that women are looking for men to provide. So as the man gets older, he becomes a better provider.
But in this day and age, women are okay with helping out. I believe some women are still okay with helping out. I do see we have the women on here saying, we got the extreme soft lifers and we got the soft lifers that just say, hey, I just need some rest sometimes, right? But the extreme soft lifers, they want all that, and a lot of them are divesting, so those are going that way. But I think it's okay. I think a lot of women are okay with still helping out and stuff like that. Like I do. I see people. They say all that stuff on the internet, but I'm just saying, if you get you a good man, you got a good man that's gonna, yeah. It's like, I feel like women are okay with helping.
Thank you, Herbalist. You're right. She definitely moving the goalpost. But that said, I want to touch on what Serenity said. She said, not all women like older men prom. Men kind of have a timeline too, unless they have resources to take care of them.
Because once you get old and wrinkled,
because as a man, there are different things that qualify us. Here's the simple reality that you may not like, is that as a woman, a lot of your sexual value is tied to how you look. And you was born with that. You don't have to do a whole lot other than maintain it more often than not. So as time passes, you lose that.
I don't feel like that though.
You lying.
I think because I feel like, especially now, I feel like in the past, yes, because women were not taking care of themselves. I feel like there's more at a higher rate women are going to the gym. They fit. Women that's in their 40s, 50s, closer to their 60s,
like
they look 50. Good.
No, they don't.
I feel like they look good.
No,
Angela Bassett, Taraji P. Henson.
They just wearing clothes like they not 50.
I feel like there's a lot of women who are out here that are 60 years old.
Single.
And I'm like, wondering where is 60? Because
here's my
black is not cracking.
What I'm saying is we got to get rid of the conversation of I can do bad by myself and say the conversation is if I end up by myself is bad.
Now, I do think it's starting to change.
Well,
too.
I think you can't say that because mentally, then that would be very destructive. But let life fall. I'm gonna do the work that I need, and I'm gonna hope that they do the work that they need so that I can find someone. I don't think any of these women are saying they do not want anyone. It's just that what I have right here in front of me, if this is what I have to choose from, then I am okay. I am okay.
Could I give you an alternative thing to think about? Just as throwing this out there. We might dive into this a little bit deeper on a different stream. But so like not y'all, obviously, but let's say we got about 600, of these women who's sitting at home by themselves, they in their 50s with their animals and their antidepressants with no men to protect them. Who gonna look after these women?
I'm pretty
What's
sure.
What's gonna happen if somebody start running in their house?
They have a security guard.
There was a point that somebody made. I can't remember exactly who it was, but there was a point that somebody made where she basically was saying, how many like older men that are in nursing homes do you see get visitors compared to women? Mm-hmm. Women are most times naturally women have people that come see after them. They have people that they have been good to, friends, family, this, that, and third, that looks after them, that's there for them. A lot of men, they mess up their relationships as they go on. Because I feel like most times a lot of men, one thing I can say about men, they will put themselves first. And they are very selfish when it comes to themselves. If it's something that most times, I feel like if it's something that they know that is not working for them no more, or they're not for it, they're not going to deal with it. So I give men their props. They are very selfish when it comes to certain things. Women, most times, they are not like that. I feel like a lot of women put themselves on the back burner when it comes to them being that girlfriend, that wife, that they forget themselves. So I feel like when you think about that type of stuff and when you look towards that type of thing, that's why I feel like women should take more time. I feel like it's not going to be, I don't think it's going to be as long if you are actually doing the time to heal yourself or find yourself and find healthier ways of communication. I think that women naturally are going to take the time to learn and branch out and figure out themselves than a man is. So it's like when you look at these nursing homes and stuff like that, men aren't getting visited like the women. Women are going to have a village to be behind them and take care of them.
Wait. That's not true. they have to have a village in order for that village to come find them. Y'all out there with y'all cats.
You have family.
Y'all cats is in the same building as y'all. There's ain't gonna be nobody at your nursing
family,
home.
There's
you don't got
nieces,
kids.
nephews.
Most of y'all hate y'all
friends,
siblings.
Y'all don't got men. I know for a fact, if I'm in a hospital bed or if I go somewhere, they're
like
going
you
to
talking
be there
about
for
grandma and Mima. They did it all. They had husbands. They had kids. They had families. Y'all don't.
So
y'all got birds and animals.
Friends? Are you forgetting people they grew up with, went to college with? Like, do you just exclude all of them?
Yes.
You
can't do that.
Because like
I've lived a few years. People come and go from your life.
I disagree.
People come and go.
I disagree.
So I disagree with the fact that men are more self-centered. Because I don't know too many men.
I thought that was wild too.
So survey says that happiness is never really a concern for men. It's a concern for women.
Okay, but do you feel like that's why? Because I personally feel like that's why a lot of men suffer in silence, because it's like, okay, if you're going to say that you don't feel like men are self-centered, I feel like that also ties into them bottling stuff in, crashing out and stuff like that, because, okay, if certain things, if you feel like you don't equate happiness to what a woman feels is her happiness, then what makes you happy? What is that?
So you're right. So what men actually, we prefer peace over happiness, and that there is a difference.
Okay.
So the difference is like, so what makes me happy is going on a vacation. Okay. What brings me peace is having my bills paid, my family taken care of. So a lot of men think like that. Where you will hear women will argue about them not being happy. Men don't typically do that, but you are correct. We do have cases where men will bottle it up because men don't really express their emotions really good. So men will bottle it up and sometimes we crash out. But to say that men are self-centered, that's far from the truth. Because men women literally, that's why men live longer when they have wives. Because men don't necessarily take care of themselves as much as they would when they have a woman, because we are more servants than anything. I think that's why it makes men good leaders, because who else would you want to be? You want a self-centered person to lead your house? No, that's terrible. You want somebody who's not self-centered.
Actually, and to add to your point, you want the self-centered person to look after the house, to take care of the house. That's the person you want taking care of the house. The person leading the house shouldn't be self-centered.
He's going to be spending all the money on...
Because he has to think about everybody and then himself. The self-centered person is looking after her family, her children, her husband. Mm-hmm. That's why it's that way. It's not about we just picked this role one day. It's like biologically, it works to your benefit to be that way. You're more self-interested in nature because you care about people, and you're a people.
Yeah, you get a self-centered man, you need to run. I mean, that's the first sign that, he's not mature enough, because if somebody's breaking in, a self-centered man is going to run.
Kind of scary. But I want to read what Jasmine said. She said that there are articles about the rise of single, lonely men. Married men outlive married women, and single women outlive single men. And studies show this is tied to the fact that single women do tend to have more close-knit relationships and are more likely to have people who check on them regularly checking on them and their health. So I think I definitely believe that's true. I think women who are single have more time to have your friends and stuff like that. Once you get married, your relationships kind of, we're checking in with each other every, I checked in one of my friends. I said, girl, it's been like literally 3 months. We can't go 3 months talking, not talking again. And it's just because our lives will just be going. And I'm just like, okay, but we got to check in a little more often than that. But it's just like we get focused on being a mother and doing these things, being wives and stuff like that. So we have this whole other world that we're dealing with. When you're single, it's like, hey, girl, we need to talk. You know, we go sit down, we have brunch, or we sit at each other's house. Yeah, so we're talking. So you're building that closeness as you're single. So, you know, you have that community right there behind you. So I definitely understand that, you know, and Urban said, he said something about Father's Day and stuff like that. I do believe there are fathers who, you know, get great gifts or whatever, but I don't think men, I don't know, I feel like women, I think we get the praise a little bit more. It's just because of our roles and all the things that we've done. But also, I feel like if a father has done a whole lot, I do, and
that's what I said earlier.
No, I'm just saying because of what, I mean, even the Bible says that a woman will be praised. A woman who fears the Lord will be praised. So, and it's just like, I think that if you take care of your kids well and do those things, they're gonna praise you because you're the mother and you've done it. Like, you've done it. Like, we do understand the father did provide. There's no one taking away from that. But I think even the father is gonna send that praise to the mother too. You know, like,
I feel like certain things they
well,
don't
he
think
trained
about
to.
that.
So that's what I didn't. I say that. I said that earlier.
The man is trained.
Yes.
No,
we basically worshiping y'all feet for doing just what y'all supposed to do.
Okay, but just what we supposed to do. So you want to be
No,
worshipped,
no,
but you want to be worshipped.
You get to turn around and say, "All I do is provide."
But okay, you saying we worship you just because of what we're supposed to do? Then that means nobody should be worshipped. So I don't know why you're looking for it more than a T-shirt.
No, I think we should praise women for doing what they're supposed to do.
I think we praise them too much.
I'm not gonna argue that. But if a woman is doing what she's supposed to do, then you praising her is showing your appreciation.
You agree? I'm not saying they're not. They should be devoid of praise altogether. But I think they definitely getting way too much praise. We can't even say single moms is bad.
No, that is true. So women are getting overly praised because women are getting.
In what way? Like.
Oh man.
I truly wish we had a lot more time.
We got 2 minutes.
It's like,
oh man.
But like overall, I do feel as though, you know, I think we all need to look at everything that each other do and obviously give both of them the respect. Because just like my kids, they show their appreciation for me also, but also I tell them, well, it's nothing if Papa didn't work for it. Like, we wouldn't have any of this. So I do send it back to them. And I do think it's a beautiful thing that women are taking that time to learn how to effectively communicate. I'm so happy that that's the conversation right now, because it will, once they do find, and I do believe these women will find someone, once they do find someone, and it won't be late, they won't be, clock won't be tick. No.
Don't listen.
They're taking care of themselves. No, they won't be late. But if these men are also taking care of themselves and getting themselves together, then they're gonna find each other in the middle. So I do believe
they're not. No, they're not.
They will.
All right, so I want to close out.
Go ahead, baby.
So Kaya, she said we're a team, uplift each other. What the hell? But I agree. Yes, we're supposed to uplift each other. I think even though we are created and born to do what we do and we do it well, we need to be praised for it.
I think
that's how I feel.
The man
but
and the woman.
in conclusion, I think it's safe to conclude with if you're gonna consider the soft light, just consider everything that comes with the soft light. You know, and make sure that your husband is. So if you want the soft life, I don't see nothing wrong with it. But if you want your husband to be happy, just make sure your definition of soft life doesn't mean a hard life for him. You know, just make sure it's fair. But with that said, as always, hold up, we gotta let Tori in. Tori, we say at the end, black men, we love you. The women are gonna say that, right?
Okay.
All right. Okay. So as always, black women, we love you.
And
black men, we love you.
And black child, you are golden. Until next time, peace, y'all.
Thank you, Jasmine.
Oh man. Oh man.